Hi everyone, this is my Module 1 reaction video based on everyone's um, initial posts. Going into this, I didn't know where I stood with my knowledge of faculty in relation to everyone else, but after watching everyone's videos, I kind of feel a little more at ease that there's others in the class that are kind of on the same page as me with a little bit of uncertainty about faculty um, and various things that have to do with them on campus. So this kind of just shows a little bit about my thoughts from watching everyone else's video. So we all kind of have varying interactions with faculty, whether that's as a student at our undergrad and master's, and even in this doctoral program, as a professional, as a colleague. It seemed apparent through all the videos that each of us kind of brings a different experience to the table when dealing with faculty. I know myself personally, I have the student and the professional interaction with faculty, as do many of the peers in this class, and kind of the pros and cons that can come with that. But some of the things that I picked off based off what other people were saying, it may depend on the type of institution for how their faculty interaction is. I know one of the classmates mentioned that in their undergrad, they had large lecture halls for some of their classes, which seemed like they had a lack of interest from their professors. That was mainly at large research institutions. However, when they went into their major classes, it seemed a little more um, relatable with the faculty. Um, that, and then they also mentioned that online connections, and sometimes some students have had good relations with faculty through online programs. I can't say that I've had that. As I mentioned in my Module 1 post, that my master's program was hybrid, so when I was on campus, it was great with the faculty. They seemed really interactive and engaging in what we had to say, and they really thought that we were there and they were helping us. But as soon as it switched online, there wasn't really any connection made um, at all. It was kind of just, I was really interacting with a Blackboard site. And then another thing is kind of just this, it was brought up in a few different posts, the teaching, research, and service, and kind of what faculty's priorities are. I think a lot of this, based off what I've seen, is based on the size of the institution and maybe the lack of teaching that comes because faculty are um, really knowledgeable of the subject matter and they haven't exactly learned how to teach that subject to other students. A lot of what we don't know about faculty seems to be a lot of different things, but a lot of us have the same thoughts about what we don't know. So, kind of power of faculty and academic freedom. I know we talked about what happens in faculty senate, like what those conversations are about, what comes from those. Um, is there any way for staff to get involved with those meetings, and kind of just what power faculty have when it comes to whether that's requirements for the degree, for the programs, etc. Kind of just where the shape of the meetings go from faculty senate. Academic freedom. This is something, I mean, I deal with at work, working with students as an advisor, and they may not get the answer they want from a faculty member because of academic freedom, but I'm not really 100% sure where the line is drawn with academic freedom. So that's definitely something I'm not too sure about either. Tenure requirements were all obviously brought up, and then kind of tenure as it relates to different institution types. And I know Paige brought up how classification moves or prestige impacts faculty, which I thought that was really interesting thought. Like, what are the faculty at UNCW thinking now that we've now moved up a classification? Um, does that open more doors? Are they do their job duties change? Kind of where does that lie with everything? And then kind of with what we talked about in class the other day, and kind of a question that I kind of posed I know a lot of our conversation was about how colleges are in this business model and a lot of classes and programs are switching online because it may be more business focused. And then it kind of thought of how a lot of people mention maybe disinterested faculty through online programs. So my kind of question is, if programs or classes are offered more online, could the other avenues of belonging be a result of this, such as like if you want students to be have a sense of belonging to the institution, but going to class is the main avenue and the professors don't seem interested, is this kind of another point of student affairs or fraternity sorority life or clubs and organizations and other ways for them to get involved that kind of mix up and picks up the slack from if their professors aren't as engaged or building relationships with them if they're in purely online classes or online programs. So those are just a few of my thoughts based on watching everyone's videos. I really enjoyed watching them. Thanks.